So how Nalinida understood me, that reminded me, I have forgotten this. I was in Delhi. I don't know which year, but when the school holiday started, November, I went there. It was getting freezing, very chilly. And I was sleeping in the bed, and then suddenly I see I'm sitting with crossed legs in front of the samadhi, on this side of the samadhi, so that my face is towards the service tree. Hmm? And sparks of light coming from the samadhi at all levels and entering into me, one after the other. I said, why am I being shown this? And then after some time I realized, oh, today is the 5th of December. So I had not remembered the date or Sri Aurobindo, but they had not forgotten me. You see? They came to me, either he came to me, whatever it is. I said, oh. Then now, I think this will be the last, 17th November, 73. Those are our school holiday periods. So my one student, Tapas Bhatt.
Tapas Bhatt. I know Tapas.
She was a good friend of mine also. And Arvind Mistry, who came with me that day. He was my student, and he was a co-student of Tapas. So she wanted all three of us to spend a day and a night in Auroville in her house, because she had already opted for becoming an Aurovillian. So I said, okay. So we took our one pair of clothes and all, went on our cycles, roamed the whole of Auroville.
On the 16th or the 17th?
On the 17th.
On the 17th.
On the 17th. Early morning we set off. And then around 5:30, I said, Arvind, I want to go home. You take me home. I said, Tapasing, Sudhaman, you can't go. You have promised to spend the night with me. I won't allow you to go. I said, no, I have to go. I want to go. I go, Arvind, let's go. Both of them are looking at me, because Sudhavan never breaks her word. And here she is adamant, I must go. So then I told Tapas, we'll come another day, but today I must go. So we came home, roaming in the sun and red soil and all of Auroville. We were really tired. We had shower, some meal, and we went to sleep. Arvind was staying with us at that time. That's another story. You see, when he was my student, he finished his higher course in 72. Up till now, he was staying in a boarding with other boys. But when you finish your studies, you have to move out. You can't stay in the boarding. So as I was his teacher, he said, Sudhaman, I won't be able to stay alone. I must be in company. I must have some family. Then I told my father, this boy is saying like this. Shall we keep him? Then my father says, you ask the mother. So I wrote a nice letter, and mother wrote back, yes, he can stay with you, my love and blessings. So Arvind stayed with my father and me for 9 long years. Oh. He was very happy. Yeah. And that gave him a real chance to see Sundaram and feel how Sundaram is different from other people. He felt the difference. So we were sleeping, and then suddenly on my window somebody is knocking. I didn't hear, but then my father heard and he shouted, Beta, somebody is calling you. Go to the window. Then I woke up. I went to the window. You know, it's those French windows. They have big iron bars curving outside towards the road,
Mm-hmm.
and then there is a wooden plank. So I looked over the wooden plank, and I saw our Manoj, who is the managing trustee.
Manoj Dasgupta.
Yes,
And what time was it, Sudha?
very early in the morning, 2:30 or 3 or 3:30 or something like that.
But you had been in
2:30.
Auroville.
Huh?
You had been in Auroville?
Yes, we had been the whole day roaming in Auroville. You're not getting the signal.
No. Mother left.
Mother left her body on the 17th evening.
Right. Oh, okay. So you had been in Auroville all day, but then you had to come back,
Yes, and
and you were resting
Huh.
when they.
when Manoj
okay.
came and knocked at the
I
door.
understand. Okay.
And as I was a well-known photographer, he said, take all your camera and everything you need and come to the ashram. Some very important person has expired. I immediately thought of Nalinida. Something must have happened to Nalinida. Then I said, otherwise maybe Abhay Singh, because he was a diabetic person,
Yes.
you know. Then I
And
said,
Manoj did not tell you who it
No.
was? I see.
he didn't say. He just said somebody very important. So then I told Arvind, make the stand ready, take the roll and all the lenses and all. We got ready, we came cycling to the ashram. And when we were, you can say, near Pranabda's house, from there you could feel something's happened. And there were so many lights on the street ahead, that ashram block and dispensary, full with big lights. You can't speak. Something is happening in the body. You're not happy or comfortable. So we park our cycles and somebody says, you go inside there. So when we went in, we saw the mother on that couch or bed, just stood still. Nothing to do, what to do. And another wonderful experience, a peace that is chilly like an iceberg, sort of descending in me, coming right to the tip of my right toe. I can feel it. And I'm filled with that. I'm just standing like a statue. Then somebody from behind came and nudged me. Sudha, start taking photos quickly. We will be closing very soon. They had called all the other photographers also. So Arvind was just standing and trembling in one corner, and he helped me put up the stand, and I took photos, one whole reel of 36 pictures. Then I said, Arvind, you go home, call Papaji, that means my father, bring another roll and come back fast. So till then I was standing in that meditation hall. And another thing, Vishwajit was there. And all of a sudden I realized that the mother's body and my body will never again be together close to one another. So I told Vishwajit, I will go near and sit there. You take a photo of the mother and me. So I went and knelt, and he took from behind me. So my back is seen and mother is seen. Then I was happy that our two together a picture is there with me. So then after some time they said all photography is stopped now. You can go out and come back again from. So they had closed the Nalinida's side main gate. They closed it. Then when I went out, Arvind and my father came, but it was too late. They had to join the normal queue.
The queue from
Main
outside,
gate.
yes.
So that is unforgettable moments with her.
Did you have much connection with Auroville?
Not as Auroville as an ideal city and all, but as a place for outing, yes. Right from its first days we have been. And when the foundation was laid, I was moving around as a photographer. And one, I think the Japanese lady, she was walking up with holding a lotus in front of her. And I just took that picture of her. When Nata called me, have you got any pictures? I said, yes, Nata, I can show you.
Hmm.
When I showed him all the pictures I had taken, he picked up that one. And said, this is the one I want, I will print it in my Domani. So then that picture was printed at so many different places. Now I don't know what has happened to it. But that was a wonderful picture of...
You must have loved, or do still love, photography.
I do, Narad. But then you see, when I really wanted a camera, our Japanese friend from Japan, he brought me one of those wonderful Mamiya C3.
I remember the Mamiya.
Yes.
I never used one though.
No?
No.
I used it very happily. And then you see, we would go out cycling. I would be there. Arvind would be with me. And then, you know, Kanak Ganguly, Robi Ganguly, Amyo Ganguly.
I knew Robi better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kanak was a very good sportsman. Number one in everything he did. Table tennis, football. So Kanak, myself and Arvind, we would go out cycling. And this Mamiya would be there with me. Then you feel the need of a tele-lens. Then you feel the need of a wide angle. Then you feel a need for the filters. Then you have to have filters for all the three lenses. So carrying all that and moving around, I did it for quite some years, quite happily, and never felt the weight. But then afterwards somebody said, you better get, what is that, rectangular frame? You see, Mamiya C3 had a square negative.
Mm-hmm.
What do we call them? Pentax and Canon and all that.
And Nikon.
Nikon.
Nikon also, yes.
So why didn't you get one of those? Then I said, okay. I think it was Venkatesh or somebody or Robi advised me. So I got one Asai Pentax because that was within my range. Then for that again, wide angle lens, tele lens. Then when mother started coming for the terrace darshan, facing the dispensary,
Yes.
we were taking photographs of her from the dispensary terrace.
What size telephoto did you have?
Hmm?
What size telephoto lens did you have?
That time I had 105. That was very small. Then immediately I said, Papaji, this won't work.
No.
We have to get a zoom lens. Then I have to get a 2x extender. Then I have said, no, I have to have a 3x extender. So all those were given to me. And then sometimes there was a fungus. The camera had to be sent to Bombay. They would clean it and bring it back. So then with that 3x extender, I took quite pictures and everything. I told you, no, there is that DVD. I have to give it to you.
Yes.
Okay. So that was our photographic, my life. And
Now you-
afterwards I started wishing, okay, no, I must have the tiniest camera which I can carry in my bag. Wherever I want something, instantly I can bring it on, take it. And that is what I'm given now, a mobile. It's not the same quality as the old ones. And then, you know, I used to print also myself, develop the roll.
Oh, you did?
Print, yes, 15 by 12 sizes. My darkroom was quite active then.
You were going to tell me a bit about Madhav Pandit?
Yes. One of the very nice stories I remember about him. He used to go to mother every morning with a 100 rupee note, you know, crackling note, and take it up to mother. Then come back with blessings and flowers and all. Then one day some visitor came to him and says, I want this photo of the mothers, but I don't have money. Can you give it to me free? So here again Madhav Pandit says, I will ask the mother. So next morning he goes to mother and says, Mother, a visitor has come and he is asking for a photo, but he doesn't have money. Shall I give it to him free? No. He must collect the money and then take the photo. That was one very nice story about Madhav. And then when my father had a heart attack, Dilipda was attending to him. It was not big, but it was small, mild one. Then Madhav Pandit called me. Don't worry, Sudha, don't worry. He is in very good hands. Dilip is a heart specialist. In the military where he was a military doctor. There he was a cardiologist.
Hmm.
And then there was not much exchange other than that, unless my father sent me, you go and give this to Madhav or you give this to. But Madhav and he, they were very close friends. Because I remember my father telling me, or telling some other friends also, every time he goes to Gujarat and comes back, two people would always ask, how was it? What happened? First person was Nalinida, second was Madhav. So Sundaram, what happened this time? That was Madhav. And he would give the report and all. Then when this Om Puri was starting and developing, Madhav would specifically ask, how far Om Puri's progress? Then he said, Madhav, it is very difficult because those people, they do not have any vision. You see, they have come here as a little devotee, bhakta of the mother and Sri Aurobindo. But apart from them, what is to be created in Om Puri? That they could not understand. So that my father had to make them understand, give it to them little by little, and take them forward to create that. But it didn't happen.
What is it like now?
Right now we have about 10 houses. We have a beautiful meditation hall, and there is the Sri Arvind Mahamandir where the relics have been kept.
Who brought the relics?
The chairperson of Om Puri. Om Puri is a branch of Sri Aurobindo Society. So the chairperson was Suvarna Shukla, a lady from Bombay, very open to the mother. And she was made the chairman because Sundaram saw in her the openness towards the mother. So when he would explain to her things, she could understand and she could do it there. So she came here, she took the relics. They were brought via Baroda to Ahmedabad and then in Om Puri. But the placing was done by me.
By you.
Everybody wanted it.
How beautiful.
Even in Ahmedabad, in my center, which was our bungalow, but then we transferred it to the trust. Because the condition for having the relics is the property must not belong to any individual.
Right.
It must be immovable. So after my father had left, I said that is the best thing we can do to this bungalow. So we made a trust. I was made the managing trustee. Then there were some 4 other devotees, very staunch devotees. So we 5 are still there. And our center is moving very nicely also.
What are you doing these days?
These days, see, after my father left, there was such a bulk of unpublished poetic literature. He himself had compiled, published the prose items, the poems he had left for later on. He never did the later on.
I see.
And poets and writers and publishers were asking me, you bring everything here, we will do it. I said, I can't just take from the cupboard and hand it over to them. I must know what I'm giving to them and what they are going to do and how they are going to do it. So then I started taking stock. 2 books, manuscripts were totally ready. Index, everything. So those on my first visit to Ahmedabad, I gave it to them and they took it up. Then afterwards I had to come back and make the manuscripts from the files. Luckily he had put year-wise all the poems. 78, all the poems of 78. And now how to arrange the 78 file. In his compilations, he had divided sort of into 6 divisions: love, nature, a little philosophical, in that way. I said, I can't do that division. It's not in me. So the safest is 1978, start from January, go chronologically, and finish with it. So that is how I did. I published 21 of his poem volumes.
21 volumes?
Each about 300, 400, 250 pages now. It's been a long, long work. But I'm happy because the whole of Gujarat is appreciating the work. And more so because it is beautiful. It's a very simple but very elegant get-up. Inside there are no errors. Lightly arranged, not cramping one poem the below, running like that.
Yeah.
Each one on one page. If there is a tiny little thing, it can be put below in that way.
Generally, we are translating from Mother and Sri Aurobindo into other languages. Have Sundaram's poems been translated into English?
A few.
A few.
In those same folders, there were a few he had done himself. But our Dhanvanti, the painter,
Yes.
she was a student of Sundaram. You know Dhanvanti? Yeah, you have.
Yes, they know.
Okay. So she was asked by the another great poet, critic, "Ki you translate Sundaram's poems. We will publish." So about 62 poems she translated. And the Academy, they printed it. But it was a lousy book. The translations were perfect.
Oh.
The publication had mistakes on it. The picture was not well printed. And anyway, it was done. A job was done.
Yeah.
So coming to the end.
It's okay. No, we're fine. We're fine. We're okay.
We finish here?
No.
Continue?
Yes.
Okay. So after all the Gujarati books were published, there were some English poems. And his essays were there. So all those had been collected and kept aside for the last. So I have put them together in a book, which I typed here at Newcon,
Oh.
And now I have given it to the Ashram Press for printing. So most probably it should be moving around by February, I suppose. You'll surely get one.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
And Dhanvanti's translations, some are really par excellence.
I see.
Yes.
This aspect of her I didn't know. I've been her friend for 50 years.
Oh,
But I didn't know that.
yes.
So tell us a bit about Champa Klal and your remembrances of Champa Klal.
One was a negative one. I hope you don't bring it up.
That's fine. They can be fine.
Okay, let it go. It's a fact, is a fact.
Right.
Then this darshan photographs I used to take of the mother. Every night the role is developed after coming home from the March past meditation. Early next morning I wake up around 3, 2:30, print the roll, wash it, glaze it, trim it, put the numbers at the back, and I go and give it to Nalinida. He is surprised and mother is also with, "Oh, see with," she would say. Because next morning she is getting the previous days. Then she would go through all these photographs and then she would let me know in my letter the photographs which she has liked and which can be freely given to friends. So first time when she sent me back, I saw a big cross. I said, she's put a cross. Then she wrote in the letter que j'ai mis un croix pour les photos que j'aime.
Can you translate in English?
Oh, so she wrote back in my letter that I have put a big cross at the back of the photos which I have liked. You see, usually a cross means we think no, but here it was just the opposite. So that was the procedure. Every darshan print sent her my letter, she would send back the selected numbers. Then in 73, when the whole movement was closed, for a long time everything was very stagnant. Then I said, this must be given to people. So we made a DVD. And in that, the biggest help was from via Shraddhavan of Tatiana. I don't know her surname. And she has even searched the best softwares to make this work as perfect as possible.
I see.
So
You have
should all see
seen
it?
Tatiana's paintings of Mother and Sri Aurobindo?
No,
I believe they're with Pushpa.
I didn't know she was a painter also.
Or am I thinking?
I hope there
It's
are not
not
two
Tatiana?
Tatyanas.
Huh?
It's not that one, maybe. Not that one.
Maybe different.
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 It's a common name.
Okay. It's a different Tatiana.
Okay.
Okay.
So I
Champaka.
had a
Yeah.
good habit of keeping records, So when I went through I have got 555 negatives of the mother. And of 555 negatives, her selected photographs are 106. So my DVD is of 106 photographs. I have brought it out to bring it here, but I forgot. So that was my photographic work. And now it's just mobile. But I enjoy that also.
Sure.
Because now there is no black and white world.
No more.
It's all color. And I don't feel like
Since
photographs would be given for bulletin. So I would submit mine. So the first batch I gave to Nalinida, I said, this is for her to select for the bulletin. So mother saw, she chose, she gave to Pranabda, this will be put in the bulletin. Then after 1 or 2 days, Pranabda meets me in the ashram. You didn't send the photographs through me. I said, I didn't know, Dada, that it has to go through you. All my movements toward mother is through Nalinida. So that is how I went. Then he didn't insist further. But then that movement continued. And then there was one picture of my friend, Ilavati. Maybe you know her. She works in the archives. It doesn't matter. So we were very, very close together. So we had gone for an exhibition, and there was a statue with a nice pointed nose and beautifully hair done. So my friend went a little closer, and all of a sudden I saw that the two noses are perfectly symmetrical. So I said, wait, Ila. And I took a picture of that bust face, and then I sent it up for the bulletin. And then usually selection was done by Pranabda and mother. So Pranab just put it aside. No, that picture must go in the bulletin. So when I saw in the bulletin my Ila looking at that bust and the bust looking at her, I was so happy. And Pranab himself told me this story. Pranabda, he said, I rejected that photo of yours, but mother said, no, it must go.
Did you know Pavitra at all?
Yes, a bit, as a very austere person. We were almost afraid to talk to him, because he was not very communicative, at least not with me, and not our age children.
I met Purani when he came to America
Oh, yes.
the first time. Yes. And as you say, he was the most wonderful soul. Now that Mother is no longer in the body,
We people, we miss the elders. We feel as though something is not there. Their love, which used to come to us, also was very precious, I used to say that I have 5 fathers, not one. My father is there definitely. Then was Puraniji. Then was Pujalal. Then there was Vishnu Bhai. And there was Krishna Lal. Because all of these people, they would gather in Puraniji's room, and I would be there as a child for all the 5 to play with. Puraniji would tell Vishnu Bhai, Vishnu, go and get that, what do you call this? Tongs. When you have to lift up a vessel from the stove.
tongs, yeah,
Tongs.
tongs, yeah. Mhm.
Vishnu, go and get the tongs from the kitchen. Vishnu Bhai would go and get it. Then I said, look, we have to make the nose of this child a little longer. It's too blunt, too rounded. We've got to make it a little sharp. And there would be hide and seek running around between these people. That was a very happy moment. Now Champaklanji, you said. That's how I went to photography. So when these 106 photographs were there, I said I must make an album exclusively of these. But making 106 photographs into an album would be too heavy. Because I used to print them 8x6 size. So to make the album, I chose a grey shade paper from our ashram man. And I asked them to process the paper in such a way that there would be some fine lines on the texture. So they did that for me, for my 3 albums. The first album had 42 pictures. So I took them to Champakla. He said, you come around 12 o'clock. So I took the album and went to him. We went to his personal room behind. He sat down cross-legged, made his dress nice and neat, put a fresh piece of cloth on his knees, then took the album and put it on his knees. First he sat half a minute with this. Then slowly he is opening the second page. He is not reading what I have written. Third page, the mother's photo is there. So he looks at it, he joins his palms, stays there for half a minute, 1 minute. That was the first person I saw who was really meeting the mother in the album. Otherwise, others they just go this. And he started doing this with every photo. And I was sitting next to him. And then I started, it became, meditations developed. And on and on and on. I think 45 minutes we were there together, looking at that album. And that was a meditation I've never had again. Maybe not even what we used to have in the playground with the mother sitting in front. This was very unique, very unique. I can show you the album sometime.
Yes,
Huh?
yes.
You would enjoy it. Another young man from Ahmedabad. He is also a disciple of Mother and Sri Aurobindo. Now, he works in ISRO in Ahmedabad. So, they have a cricket team. They play in Ahmedabad itself. And sometimes there is a match in Bangalore. So, he is sent from Ahmedabad to play in the cricket tournament. So, he had come here once. And he said, I'm so near Pondicherry. Today is Guru Purnima. You know Guru Purnima? Today is Guru Purnima. I must go to Pondicherry and do my pranams at the Samadhi. So he rushed down, he went Samadhi. And then he says, I have come up to here, I must meet Sundadam. So around 12:30 he comes and knocks at the door. Then he comes in. I said, oh Sanjay, what happened? What brings you here? Then he said, today's Guru Purnima, so I came down from Bangalore. So the way he said Guru Purnima, I said I must show him my album. So I brought the 3 albums out, made him sit comfortably, and I said, now you watch. I don't speak when the friends watch the album, they just watch and then halfway through he says, Sudha, what sweetness flows from each photograph. It's so sweet, it fills you up. I said, Sanjay, do you know, she's called the sweet mother. She's full of sweetness. And I was happy that he felt it. He felt that sweetness. It wasn't just a picture or a face.
Any other remembrance of Champaklal?
No, this one.
That was the one.
And that other
That's
one.
so powerful. Now that Mother is no longer in her physical body, we are all here.
Yes.
Tell us what you feel.
You see, when my father was there, almost every person coming from Gujarat would come to meet him. As he is not there, those who know me, they keep coming to me. And those who used to come to him, they're all almost not there on earth anymore. So it's another generation which is coming to me. So some of them make a comment, the ashram is changing, we don't feel like coming. People are so rude, so rough. Then I said, what do you understand by the ashram? It is not the people, it is not the departments and all. Ashram is the mother, Sri Aurobindo. They have not changed. What is around the samadhi has not changed. Then you are coming for that. Why should you not come? Let the people be what they are. They are all here because they have to grow into something. How much they understand and do it consciously is up to them. But even if they are not doing consciously, they are being lifted up. They are being move forward. They understand, and then certain new things are developing. We don't feel too happy, but we can't do also much. The latest is our dining room rules, you know.
No, I don't know about
You don't know?
No.
Up to now, everybody was taking a tiffin at home. Many sadhaks were taking at home. Their worker ammas would bring the food home. And then there was a new batch of Oriya people. They also started taking food at home in tiffins and all. And then all sorts of stories started coming. I think I would like to put them out in the... Then they made a rule that only the ashram people can have their tiffin at home. The rest must all come here and eat. So then they saw that 1/3 of the food was lesson, no more needed. That much was going unnecessarily out of the dining room. Am I clear somewhat?
Very clear.
Okay. And then they said that all the visitors who come, they must come to the central, Bureau Central, and take their pass early in the morning for something. They have to come every day. If you want you have to come in the afternoon sometime. And it became difficult. Elderly people staying in park guest house. They have to come at a certain time for their pass. To come from there, 50 rupees. Go back, 50 rupees. 100 rupees for a pass of 20 rupees. But they spend it because they want to eat in the mother's dining room. They want her prasad. So almost all the friends who come to me, they have some little unhappiness towards this coupon. Are you also one of them? Good. So then after that, I heard so many, I said, okay, let us all think what can be the most convenient, comfortable thing for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
You see, some solution. Then what came to my mind was, you can help me think further. People are coming and reserving their rooms in the guest houses. So when they actually come, the guest house manager can give a note that they are staying in my guest house up to this date, kindly give them the dining room pass. So when that is shown to Bureau Central, at one go they can give the 10 days or 5 days or whatever. That would solve a lot of unhappiness. I mean, I'm still thinking, should I give it to in writing or should I talk to that? You know, there's one, the latest trustee, one young girl, Abhipsa Nagada,
Abhipsa, yeah.
Dhanvanti's niece.
Mm-hmm.
She also was a student of mine once.
Ah.
So I can tell her, like I would talk to my daughter or something like that. Should I give it in writing or should I just talk to her? So I'm still biding my time.
Sudha, it's been a wonderful afternoon.
But it's been so
Thank you so much.